Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the latest model for the Audi RS7. Huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this performance-oriented sedan for me today. Take a look at their website, that link is down in the description. This RS7 is finished off in Daytona Gray Pearl. MSRP start right around $130,000. Now this is powered by the 4-liter twin-turbo V8. It's paired to the 8-speed automatic. It pumps out 621 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque. That power sent through the Quattro all-wheel drive system, propelling this 4,900-pound vehicle from 0 to 60 in 3.3 seconds. When you opt for the RS Dynamic package, that increases the top speed to 190 miles an hour. This also has a fuel capacity of 19.3 gallons. You'll expect to see around 14 miles per gallon in the city, 22 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 115.3 inches. Its overall length is 197.2. It has a width of 76.8, a height of 56.1, and its ground clearance measures in at 4.2 inches. Now, as we work our way to the exterior styling, you'll notice there's a lot of gloss black. As part of the Black Optics package, that provides you with the blacked out Audi badge, where there's a forward-facing camera just underneath that. There's also a sensor on both sides for the distance pacing, parking sensors in the lower section, plenty of cutouts in that gloss black grille as well. There's the RS7 badge, and then the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. The turn signals have that sequential design to them. There's also very large inlets in the lower sections on both sides, along with carbon fiber accents both there and along the front splitter, which is a nice accent to see. And then there's very crisp lines that come down the hood, meeting that upper section of the grille there very nicely. Now this RS7 has an aftermarket set of 22-inch wheels, which have a great look to them, but this is equipped with the carbon ceramic brakes with massive front brake calipers. Those are probably 8 pistons up front, and then ironically single pistons in the rear, but a lot of stopping power for this performance vehicle. Now there's also more carbon fiber on the lower side skirt. It's on the mirror caps, which also have the turn signal and a camera. They are power folding. There's gloss black for the front section where the sunroof is, and then it surrounds all of the window trim. But more crisp lines running down the side, just like you saw on the hood. So in that lower section, running right through the door handles, that rear fender arch there, and then even in the lower section. Now this also has a deployable spoiler, so you can put it up like this, or it will automatically deploy at certain speeds out on the highway. Now there's the LED bar that runs right across the back, along with the animated sequential design for those taillights. There's the backup camera, all the parking sensors, that dual exhaust with even more carbon fiber that goes from one end to the other. And then what's really cool about the RS7 is that this is actually a hatchback. So unlike a traditional trunk space, this is an incredibly practical vehicle. There is a lot of space with the back seats up. There's a storage net. You get a little bit of space under the floor if you need to use it, but you can also fold down the back seats. So you could even fit in items like a bicycle or something odd shaped like that with the design of this hatchback. There's also this adjustable sunshade that you can place up if you want to get a little bit of protection from the sun there in that window. So not only do you have a lot of performance, but you get that added practicality for daily driving. Now you can also lock and unlock this from all 4 door handles. And on the interior, there's leather, alcantara, carbon fiber, brushed aluminum, the Bang & Olufsen sound system, and plenty of storage space. So very premium feeling materials, including the RS logo there, and then the stitching in these leather seats. Now behind both front seats, there's the netting for extra storage. You have vents in the middle, all of the adjustments in the LCD screen there, along with some climates down below. And at 5'10", I'm almost just touching the headliner, but it's still comfortable. We have alcantara for the headliner there. And then in the middle, you can pull this down where you have a little bit of storage in the back of the armrest, as well as cup holders in the front. And then even with that hatchback design, you have that odd shaped pillar there, but you have large windows on both sides, so you can see around, and you have a good bit of foot room there in the bottom. Now for the driver door panel, there's all these same materials. You have lock and unlock, memory seating adjustments. The side mirror adjustments are power folding and heated, and then all the window controls, trunk release, and more storage. And then a little bit more of an aggressive design for those bolsters up front. And then we're greeted with an Alcantara steering wheel. Flat bottom design to it with some gloss black accents. But let's fire this back up, take a listen to that V8. And coming back to the gauge cluster now, you'll notice engine temperature on the left, fuel on the right side, and then within the digital screen, you can use some controls over on the right side of the steering wheel. So there's Bluetooth and voice commands, you have volume and tuning, and then RS as well. So you can go into RS1 or RS2, and you will notice that the entire gauge cluster changes to give you a little bit more performance style there versus the traditional gauge cluster design when you are not in RS1 or RS2. So it'll actually change the exhaust note as well, and then you can configure those as needed. Now on this left side, we have these arrows along with view. So if I start using this scrolling dial, we can go through some of this information. Then you can also scroll over where you have Bluetooth, you have phone, the navigation, you can pull it up in full screen, and then we're back to this setting here. Now if I click on view again, you can actually change it. All that info is going to be on the left side now, and you have a little bit more of a sporty design compared to this view here. This is also equipped with paddle shifters on both sides, and then cruise control distance pacing is on the left. Now there's a little bit of storage over on this left side. You have the fog light and headlight adjustments, more carbon fiber. The Bang & Olufsen tweeters there will raise when you start the vehicle up and go back down when it's off. There's also the head-up display, which shows miles per hour. More leather for the entire dash, as well as a neat design with the air vents with carbon fiber, and then one of the two LCD screens in the middle. So you have a split design here. There's all of these icons where you can go through some more of this information. If you go into vehicle, you can also raise and lower this vehicle. So it does have the adaptive suspension as well as the different drive modes. You even have the RS monitor, so you can go through all of these stats if you would like to, and your seats. And then on the left side, you can also go through the navigation. You have your phone, music, audio, and then back to home. Now underneath that, above this screen, you have some shortcuts here for your engine start stop, as well as parallel parking. You can also put in some addresses as your favorites there to quickly get into. There's the garage door button, the rear spoiler. You have this button here for the head-up display to turn on and off and go through those adjustments, and then you can also turn off that upper screen as needed. And then for the rest of the screen, it's all the climates and the heated and ventilated seats. You can even push on these dials to get into the heated steering wheel as well as your rear adjustments as well. And then you have where you'd like the air to go and fan speed. Now you do have shortcuts to drive select, so you can get into this screen right here. There's also traction control, some defrosters. You have power, volume, and tuning. There's also a control for your driver assistance, so you can adjust that as needed. And then you have a shortcut to the camera system. So you can actually expand this view and go through all of these various angles, even get into your parallel parking and the 3D view, so you can see around the entire vehicle. And then right in the middle, you have another parking sensor feature for the parallel parking. Now there's two cup holders, more alcantara for the shifter. So if we put that into reverse, you have the camera as I just showed, and then you have drive. If you pop it to the right side, that's for the manual setting, and then park is located on the back. The e-brake is just behind that. There's also the adjustment for the armrest. You have a little bit of storage with some auxiliaries in the middle, and then plenty of room down in the glove box. There's also the rear view mirror, touch sensitive dome lights, and then the adjustments for that sunshade and sunroof. And here's a look at visibility. It's pretty easy to see. Those pillars are thin, so you can look over both shoulders just fine. As we set off now behind the wheel for the RS7, this is definitely a favorite of mine. If you're new to the channel, I own an R8, so I do like the performance Audi versions that are available. The RS7 is on a whole different level than my Gen 1 R8. We have a lot of power for this particular model. It would be cool to see that amount in my vehicle. And so we have it in one of the RS settings. Definitely quick, and that's babying it. I'm not doing anything to its full potential, unlike my R8, but it even sounds pretty good too. It's not all that loud, which I think is kind of a drawback with the Audis. My R8 sounded like a lawnmower stock, so I put on an aftermarket exhaust, and just a personal preference, of course, but I have heard the RS7s modified, and they sound super good. This is also a vehicle that is heavily modifiable. You can do a lot to this with the engine and the platform that it has if you're looking to crank out some serious horsepower. It also makes for a great daily driver as well. So if you just want to tone it back, drive it like normal, you have the option to do that. And then when you're ready to, you can have a lot of fun with this family style hatchback. So let's go down to second gear. That's definitely quick. It also handles well for its weight, which is very impressive. But we also have some massive brakes for this particular model to really give you the stopping power you need just to add to that performance. So even with a small braking like that, it's definitely very good. But I like this vehicle because for an Audi, something that is supposed to be a luxurious vehicle, which this is with all of its materials and just the layout and everything, you also get that RS performance. So you have a really good blend with a luxury focused vehicle that's also going to give you incredible performance. And so I like this model a lot. You can go with the A7 or the S7 if you don't want quite as much power. Those are good options as well. There's a huge price in all of them, just depending on your budget and what you're looking for. But if you want the top trim level, the RS7 is a great option to go with. We have some very comfortable seats with the Napa leather here, super nice to sit in, and the Alcantara on the steering wheel is nice. We have good grips on both sides here. And the head-up display, I didn't mention this, in RS1, it shows us the entire tach. We have some engine temperatures, what gear we're in, speed limit, and the speed limit sign, which is awesome because if you're on some back roads or something and you happen to forget what gear you're in, you got it right in front of you, so you don't even have to look down. And from second gear, here we go. And just like that, we're up to speed. Shifts are also very quick as well. So you can row through these gears with ease and just have a ball. Well, this is what it's like to be behind the wheel for the RS7. Definitely very family focused as far as the practicality with that hatchback and being able to fit in a lot of items. This could seriously be your only vehicle with the amount of room that you have, which is really nice. And then when you're ready to, you have performance at your fingertips to just have some fun. It's a heavy vehicle, but it handles so well. I know I'm not on some really hard twisty roads, but the handling in this is definitely great for its weight. It has a low center of gravity, which definitely helps. It's super comfortable too with that adaptive suspension as well. I have that in my R8. It's the magnetic ride. It does make a huge difference depending on the driving modes that you're in. It can get a little bit stiffer or a little bit more relaxed. Even in the stiff mode though, it's still daily drivable. You can feel the bumps a lot more though. So it's nice that you have those adjustments, and the ride height you can adjust too. So at slower speeds, you can get a little bit more ground clearance in some entry and exits off the road, which is nice. So you can drive this anywhere and be able to clear obstacles as needed. But super comfortable. Like I said, I own an R8, so I do like some of the Audi models. I've never owned the RS7, but I have had friends who have owned them. I had one friend who drag raced his RS7, so tuned it, did some mods to it. It was running 700 or 800 horsepower to the wheels, and drag racing that from a luxury brand like an Audi, it was pretty impressive to see. So a lot of potential for this luxury focused vehicle. But that is going to wrap it up for the Audi RS7. Once again, huge shout out to Carolina Auto Direct for providing this luxury focused performance vehicle for me today. Check out their website, give this video a huge thumbs up, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. I will see you all in the next video.